This is a recap of the Shaman King plot. Heads up, we're sticking to just the main events following the reading order. We're not going to do backstories of people or tasty details, so this is going to be pretty high level. Also, it's going to be quick fire. Anyways, let's not muck around too much in an intro, and let's crack in. Yo Asakura. He's a shaman recently moved to Funbari Hill, Tokyo, a lonely boy about to start an epic journey. He soon meets Manta, his first ever friend, and Amidamaru, his first guardian spirit. Yo gets his first show of his powers by Hyogataiing Amidamaru's spirit to defend his new friend Manta against local thug Ryu, and their friendship is set. Tao Ren. He's a shaman recently moved to Tokyo to prepare for the upcoming shaman fight, a clash of the world's greatest shamans to gain the Great Spirit, essentially to become a god. Ren sets sights on Amidamaru, which leads to a brawl between Yo and Ren. Yo ultimately wins, and the rivalry between the two is forever set. Despite winning, Yo's beaten pretty bad. Into his hospital room walks a new face, Anna Kyoyama, Yo's fiancée. Anna's no-nonsense and is here to beat Yo into shape before the shaman fight can begin. After healing, Ren's sister June shows up with her corpse puppet martial artist Pai Long to kick Yo's ass, but it's another win to the Asakura corner. It's now that Ryu makes his reappearance, this time possessed by the vengeful spirit Tokagero, a bandit spirit with a grudge against Amidamaru. Yo manages to best the vengeful spirit's heart, and Ryu joins the team. The shaman fight begins! First test, hit this fight official, the patch silver, just once. The concept of oversouls manifesting your spirit into something and Furyoku, the shaman's power level, are introduced, and Yo manages to land the hit necessary to gain entry to the fight. Now he's got 3 more battles to pass this phase.
Horo!
Horo joins the party.
Faust!
Faust does not join the party. 1 to go, but it's against old mate Ren. During this prep time, we meet Manta's family, who won't be important again until right at the end of the series. Tamayo, who's cool, Ryu starts training to be a shaman, and Yo takes a walk through a cave to power up. Back to the fight, and it's a draw! Ren joins the party. The officials let both of them continue, so all is well. Before the next phase begins, Ren heads home to go beat the hell out of his dad. Things go poorly, so the rest of the gang head over and help him out. Tao family drama settled for the rest of the series. Back in Japan, the night before the next phase begins, Hana is conceived, probably. To the plane yard. The next phase is outside Tokyo, so all of the gathered participants are here to get flown over to the USA. This is where we get the first encounter with clearly the villain Hao. The flight begins, and it turns from nice flight to skydiving simulator real quick, and now the gang are stranded in the American outback. The plan, get to the Patch Village for the next phase of the fight. They meet a friendly face, Lily Rara, who shows the gang what happened at the last shaman fight. Oh, it's Hao, and he's brutally killing everyone. Neat, well, time to go, and there Hao goes killing again. Another main character now joins the brawl. This is Lyserg. His parents were killed by Hao, so he's out for some tasty Hao blood and looking for allies. Lyserg joins the party. Misa Verde. The Patch Village is through this cave, but oh no, Hao's boys are waiting for them. The gang fight Boris the Vampire and win. Sweet, now they can get some information on who this Hao is.
Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
The X-Laws have arrived. These are a gang of strong soldiers who use angels as spirits channeled through guns. Boris becomes the bad blood between both bands. Meanwhile, Anna has got the power-up book from the Asakura family and heads to the Patch Village. But when she arrives, she immediately runs into Hao. A quick discussion leads to the legendary left. Finally, the gang make it to the Patch Village and encounter the Great Spirit. Lyserg leaves the party. Chocolove joins the party. This leg of the shaman fight is a tournament based around 3 vs 3 combat, so teams are made. Ren, Horo, Choco make Team the Ren, and since Lyserg is gone, Anna finds and recruits Faust as the final member of Team Funbari Onsen. Yo, Ryu, and Faust. Faust joins the party. Meanwhile, Lyserg has joined the X-Laws, siding with the people most intent on killing Hao. The whole fight then relocates again to a small island off the coast of Tokyo, and now the real shaman fight can finally get underway. First bracket fights, the Ren versus Tsuchigumi.
Winner!
X1 versus the Nile. Quick break, this is Jean, the leader of the X-Laws, who just killed the entire other team.
Winner!
Before the next fight, the power system updates. With the power of the Cho Senji Raketsu, the upgrade book from before, we learn about evolved spirits and how guardian spirits can get stronger. Amidamaru gets the upgrade. Back to the battle, Iceman versus Funbari Onsen, and a few more additions to the power system. Yo shows off the Spirit of Sword for the first time, and the idea of gentle Furyoku is introduced, which is like Ultra Instinct for shamans.
Winner.
After the fight, the big powers start recruiting. Hao ambushes Ren to get him to join Team Hao. Meanwhile, Jean invites Yo to join the X-Laws. Both decline. Moving on, Team Hoshigumi versus X3, or should we say, Hao versus 3 X-Laws. Hao annihilates these guys while they take it as more of a scouting mission to figure out what Hao's oversoul is. It ends with Venstar blowing himself up with a high-powered explosive, and Hao showing for the first and only time in this series his power as the Yin-Yang Master Asakura Hao. The Spirit of Fire ends up consuming the 3 X-Law soldiers' souls.
Winner.
So yes, Hao is an Asakura and Yo's twin brother. Now the whole gang knows. But that's not all. You can also calculate Furyoku levels to get someone's power level. Most of the gang has powers around the low thousands, but Hao has 1.25 million. Training time. Mickey Hisa, Yo's dad, picks up Team the Ren and starts to train them. He has joined the shaman fight with Redzip and Seiram, 2 young kids controlling a Gundam named Golem, who will, skipping ahead, eventually be revealed as the spirit of their dead mother. During training, some of Hao's boys ambush the Ren and threaten Golem, so Mickey needs to dip out to save the kids. Meanwhile, the Ren boys try to take on the attackers, but Ren is quickly killed. The other 2 try to hold on, but are getting the tar kicked out of them until Yo arrives on the scene. This is where we get that awesome shot from the trailers as Yo proceeds to one-shot the bad lads. There's a plan. Manta's gone to go get Jean, who can resurrect Ren. This is where the resurrection mechanic is introduced, which is pretty important from here on out. Meanwhile, Golem and the kids have been attacked by the Hanagumi trio. Mikihisa manages to arrive in time to smack those Hanagumi kids around. Crisis averted. Meanwhile, Jean arrives to get Ren, and the payment is Yo leaving the shaman fight. Yo, being the best boy that he is, doesn't hesitate at all and agrees immediately, quitting the fight. Jump into Osorezan Revoir, the backstory behind how Anna and Yo met. It's real good and about halfway through the series, so we'll take a quick breath. Back in the present, Ren gets revived and gets the Zenkai boost, which are now apparently in this series. Horo runs into Team Iceman being attacked by Big Guy Bill and Blocken. Ryoku is introduced, which is how strong a spirit is, as opposed to how strong the shaman is. Using that, Horo manages to scrape a win together before passing out. Then Lysok hits the scene and takes Horo off to safety, but not before carving a big X into Big Guy Bill's chest. He's got a new spirit, the Angel Zalel. Lysok takes Horo to Yo and is closely followed by Hao's boys from before, here to take revenge. The gang flee, with Ryu staying to hold them off. He gets promptly killed before being saved by the third power that is yet to make a move, Team Gandara. Meanwhile, Choco's gone off to meet his friends when he sees they've all been killed. Turns out Golem is the murderer, enacting revenge on Choco for killing the kid's father. A quick fight ensues, but Choco is quickly killed as well. Ryu, freshly revived, runs off with Choco's body to get him revived by the Gandara team too. Yo hits the scene and manages to calm Redzip down, but Seiram is currently possessed by her dead father and starts going ballistic, controlling Golem against Yo. As things get bad, the whole Hao crew arrives on the scene to make things worse. They want to take Golem for the Spirit of Fire to consume. Then the other part of Yo's gang arrives on defense, and now there's a big standoff. Eventually, Hao backs down and the Hao lot head off. But Golem is not done. He starts his rampage again. Then a newly arrived and strengthened Choco returns to the battlefield. The 2 powerful shaman have a big clash until Anna arrives on the scene and settles the whole night down. The next day, Opacho shows up to tell Yo he has to re-enter the shaman fight, else Hao will go and kill Golem and the kids. Not one to break a promise, Yo heads off to break the bad news to the X-Laws. Yo kicks a lot of ass before Luchist arrives looking for a fight. He's here to kill Jean, but some sneaky scheming between Yo, Lysok, and Jean herself manage to defeat him. Finally, Jean is revealed as nothing special, just some kid that Marco and Luchist painted up as a messiah. She stays leading the X-Laws though. Time to rethink the battle plan. Everyone gathers for food. Yo says Hao is going to win the fight, so the plan now is to kill him while he communes with the Great Spirit. But only the final 4 teams will get a chance to do so. So now it's a battle to be one of those final 4 teams. Team Ren versus Team Mio. This is where Furuyoku annulment is introduced, as well as the start of Hao and Gandara's final plans. Gandara are going to bring the 5 elemental warriors together to beat Hao. Hao's crew has begun the Festival of Stars, essentially feeding as many people as possible to the spirit of fire.
Winner.
The Gandara folks show up to Yo's training and kill him, sending him to hell for training. Meanwhile, X2 have unleashed an orbital strike against Hao to try and kill him. Meanwhile, Anahol kills Jean and Lyserg on behalf of Hao. In hell, Yo begins training with Yoken, his 500-year-old ancestor who killed Hao in the previous shaman fight. This is where he develops Byakko as well as his purification technique, finally learning the only way to break Hao's reincarnation cycle is to either kill his spirit or best his heart. In the real world, Gandara drop by Team the Ren and kill all of them for hell training as well. Back with the X-Laws, Mako manages to send off his dead teammates with the last of his Furuyoku as Hao arrives to feed their spirits to the spirit of fire. Before he can give chase, Anna and Golem arrive. Anna sends Golem to protect the bodies from Hao's buddies, while she 1v1s Hao on Rust. Back with Yo, training complete. Faust revives him, having now learned that skill. Back with the Ren, training complete. June revives them, having now learned that skill. Remember when we said Manta's family was important? Well, now they finally show up again. Manta's dad has found the Shaman Fight Island and has arrived with an entire military escort. With everyone alive again, the Hao squad, minus Opacho and Luchist, head to the coast to clear the military. Then...
Judas!
Betrayal. Peyote turns against the rest of Team Hao, and between him and the military boys, all of Hao's buddies are killed, Peyote included. Back with the man himself, Hao shows off his armor oversoul for the first time against Anna. Then Yo shows up. Yo manages to break the fight for Hao and himself to go get coffee, and then they hang out for a bit before heading back to their respective teams. The next day, it's Ren versus Yo, and this fight is awesome. Horo and Ren pull out everything they've learned during their training, and Yo is such a bloody powerhouse. Before the fight can end, the newly revived Lyserg jumps into the ring to break up the fight. Sati announces the retirement of the other teams, meaning we've got our 4 finalists: the Ren, Funbari Onsen, X1, and Hoshigumi. The whole squad take a bath to end the day, and Hao joins them. He tells Yo that it's his job to go and clear the military that killed all of his teams. The next day, everyone heads to the coast to fight the military. Hao does most of the heavy lifting, Reinhardt gets his 5 seconds of glory that does amount to nothing, and the gang finish off the rest. Time for the final phase of the Shaman fight. The teams travel down to the Mu continent underwater. Everyone forfeits, meaning Hao wins! The plan now is to fight through the final gauntlet of patches, protecting Hao's ascension, while the Gandara teams gather the other elemental spirits for them. Mako fights Luchist and Opacho joins the party. The gauntlet begins.
10, 9, 8, 7.
The team breaks for oranges halfway through while Golem and the kids try to sneak attack Hao before he begins communion. Goldvar puts them down with ease and Hao sends Red Seb's ghost off to Yo with the Spirit of Fire. The next day, back into the gauntlet.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just as they're about to win the final battle, the biomes all turn off and their oracle bells start reading so small. Hao breaks into the biome and kills everyone with a single thought of annihilation. Waking up in the Great Spirit, Yo and Hao have a chat. Hao is still going to kill all humans, so commands Yo to leave. Yo sticks around, much to Hao's surprise. Then, the other Elemental Warriors join the party, and the final battle takes place. Elemental Warriors versus God King Hao. As things turn bad, everyone else arrives. Everyone from major characters to minor spirits that popped up in a single chapter. All together they break through into Hao's heart, and Anna brings the spirit of Hao's mother back to him. Hao concedes that he won't create his shaman utopia yet, giving everyone the time they had left to fix the world. Then he revives everyone that died during the fight. The epilogue shows Yo and Anna's son Hana as the Elemental Warriors reconnect for the first time in years. They lament that changing the world is much harder than they thought and might just be impossible. The final shot is of Manta showing up as the gang all hangs out together, just like old times. And that's the story. If you're interested in more details on that ending, here's one I have prepared earlier. Otherwise, thanks for watching. This has been CG, and I'll see you Gs in the next one.